Is there anything you regret about leaving Taiwan, or would you have changed anything?
Growing up in both is one of the things that I'm most grateful to my parents for, actually.
Yeah.
When I went to school in 5th grade, we were doing math in the US, but I was doing in kindergarten. The traffic is a lot more calm. The pollution is a lot better.
I thought that was a rat. Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel and welcome back again to Dottie. Second time on my channel in 2 weeks. How's it feeling so far?
It's great.
Comfortable here on my channel?
Yes, very comfortable.
And we've come to one of my favorite locations here in Taichung. Taichung 第二市场. You 来过吗?
没来过.
And how are you enjoying Taichung so far?
It's good. It's nice. I've seen very little of it. It's warm.
We can definitely attest to that. So I'm going to give Dottie some Taichungese foods and also get under your skin a little bit, try and get into your story. So let's get inside, order some food and have a chat. What do you expect when I say Taichung food?
Actually, I'm not very familiar with food from here, so it's going to be brand new for me.
Well, actually the first dish is used when it's too hot to help us cool down. So I'll get it ordered and we'll take a seat and we'll have a chat.
Sounds good.
I think they're closing. 我们就是要2碗蚂蚁汤.
Did you say 蚂蚁汤?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Do you know what it is?
Yeah. I mean, I've never tried it, but
Okay.
I'm trying to figure out what this is.
Didn't get you one. You want one? 非常好，谢谢。
所以我们在吃什么？
我们在吃蚂蚁汤.
Like ant soup?
It sounds like the Chinese for ant, but as a Chinese professor, I need to correct you a little bit. It's a slightly different tone and character.
Hawaii.
I have no idea. So you've never had it before?
No, I've never seen it before.
Okay, what is your first impression?
It looks a little goopy and gelatinous. I see the little dried fish on top.
Yeah, they're like baby anchovies, I think.
Yes, and I don't recognize this like green veggie.
The green veggie is actually called jute. It's a leaf that's used to make fibers, and it's actually really hard to make. So it's only sold in Taichung. It's not sold all around the island. But anyway, we'll try the food. The food isn't the point of today's video. You are the point of today's video. So we'll try the food first, and then we'll get into a bit of a chat. Cheers.
Cheers. First, 蚂蚁汤. Oh, it's quite mild.
Okay.
And it's a little bit bitter. It's nice.
Compared to how it looks, compared to how it tastes, what would you say is the difference?
I would say, as expected, definitely a little gooey. It tastes very healthy.
It is very healthy and it's very popular with the older generation. But as I mentioned, this is not a video really about foods, this is about people and stories. So give everybody a more detailed rundown of your childhood, where you grew up.
So I was born in the US. When I turned 3, my family left Rhode Island, which is where I was born, and moved to Taiwan. And there I had a very normal Taiwanese upbringing. Lived very close to my family, my grandmother, and my mom's entire side is in Taiwan. And then at the age of 10, after I graduated 4th grade, went to the US and resumed my education there.
So what's your main memory of your childhood in Taiwan?
Really positive stuff. So the US, as you know, is a bit more individualistic and families tend to live further away from each other. So I was always with my family in Taiwan. I had cousins my age or with my grandma. So we had a very nice together family, and in the US it was much more isolated. And I remember the education being particularly rigorous in Taiwan. Lots of studying, even in 4th grade and even in kindergarten, actually.
Yeah. When you moved from Taiwan to America, what was the big cultural differences that you noticed as a kid?
When I went to school in 5th grade, we were doing math in the US, but I was doing in kindergarten.
Oh, okay.
So there was a really big difference in education that I noticed immediately.
Did you get treated as an Asian kid or as a Taiwanese kid, or did you just slot into society there?
Oh yeah, we were always super different. So this was the 90s in a pretty small city. So my family really, really stood out. I was the only foreign-looking kid in my school. There was no one else but me.
Yeah.
We got like a lot of special treatment. People were really nice to us.
Oh, really?
To the point where I thought half these were super special.
All of your friends in school in America, did they know about Taiwan? Did you feel like you had to educate people about what Taiwan is all about?
I don't think people really knew what Taiwan was.
And is there like a Chinatown in the Rhode Island where you...
No.
Oh, I thought that was a rat. Can you remember missing anything from Taiwan when you moved to America?
Yeah, I felt really lonely. So we went from having huge holidays with our whole extended family to just being the 3 of us. So we just had like a huge distance between us.
I see. So that's your life in America. We're going to finish this soup. Then we're going to take you for another Taichungese dish where we might get into a little bit more about your recent experiences in Taiwan.
Yeah, sure.
Is that cool?
Yeah.
So, Dottie, have you ever heard of Damiangong?
No.
That's because you don't come to Taichung often enough. This is Taichung's staple, most famous dish. That some people love it, some people hate it. So we're going to find out today whether you're on which side of the fence you're on. Are you hungry?
Yeah, I am. I'm starving.
And it's good that you say you're hungry because this is made for filling up your belly. It's really made to get you through the full day. So.
All right, let's do it.
Oh, and I should say that this is a vegetarian version.
But it looks legit. It looks like real meat.
Yeah.
Taiwanese people are really good with fake meat.
Exactly, yeah.
Cheers.
Ooh,
It's tasty.
there is like a curry flavor to that.
Yeah. Yeah, and I really taste the celery that they put on top. It does taste a bit like curry.
Yeah,
It's nice.
I like it.
I love noodles, so just put me around noodles and I'm
Yeah.
a happy girl.
But you can see that these noodles are a bit fatter and less dense than the other noodles. That's because when they make them with bicarbonate of soda, and it makes them like fill up and fill out, so that it's still a cheap meal, but you can feel more full from it. I'm gonna go out and say that this is better than the one that I had at Taichung Damiangong, the one that closed early. This is more interesting. This is like got the different flavors and different textures. The other one is just noodles and meat, but the celery and the curry flavor, I'm really impressed. So while we're on the topic of food, and we were just talking about your childhood back in Taiwan, what was your favorite food as a kid growing up? Can you
Beef
remember?
noodle soup.
Really?
Yeah, I love beef noodle soup.
Oh, okay.
And I think when I was in the US and missing Taiwan, I was the beef noodle kid. I was the beef noodle kid. We had one around the corner from our old apartment.
Oh, okay.
And I really missed that specific bowl of beef noodles.
If you told me that, I would have taken you to the most famous beef noodle shop in Taichung, but I'm not sure we're going to have time. Maybe next time.
Yeah, next time.
Oh, okay. On the way here in the taxi, you were saying you really feel like you benefited from your move to the US. Is there anything you regret about leaving Taiwan, or would you have changed anything?
Growing up in both is one of the things that I'm most grateful to my parents for, actually.
Yeah.
I feel like it was such a privilege to live in Taiwan and learn the culture, the language, just have such a different experience compared to the US.
And have you noticed any differences in Taiwan? And what's the big changes that you've noticed in the past 20 years?
So I was a kid, so I saw the world a little bit differently, but I think the most noticeable thing, like the pollution is a lot better. Pollution was actually one of the reasons why my family and I originally moved back to the US. My dad was getting migraines from how bad the pollution was.
Oh my God, okay.
The traffic is a lot more calm. The pollution is a lot better.
So you're saying the traffic is better in Taiwan now? Okay.
Yes.
I guess compared to Taiwan 20 years ago, that's an improvement, but I think it still has a lot of improvements to make regarding traffic.
It's really developed. Like it feels like, you know, comparable to any modern city in the world now. Really incredible infrastructure, incredible hygiene with the street food.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And then I know things have changed that like you can't necessarily see. So when I was going to school in Taiwan, once you reach middle school, so you go into 7th grade, for girls at public schools, you had to cut your hair up to your ears. And I don't think that's a thing anymore. So there's these social changes that are really obvious.
Oh, okay.
One more thing, it's definitely noticeably more international. When I was living here in the 90s, my family was the only foreign family.
Okay.
Now there's foreigners everywhere.
Yeah, I think compared to when I came 15 years ago, the foreigner, Waigoren, pointing out is not happening as often.
Yeah, exactly. Less staring.
But I still think Taiwan needs a lot more like multicultural influence. I know that it's like a very beautiful culture, but it is still quite homogenistic. Is that the word? Homogenous?
Yeah, homogenous.
But when I mention that on my channel, a lot of people criticize me and say, no, we want to keep Taiwan Taiwanese and with its original culture.
Yeah.
But if a British person says that, it's super racist.
Right.
If I say, let's keep Britain British, that's like the most racist thing I could say, but I guess Taiwanese people want to really protect their culture in a way, so it's one of those difficult things to judge. We're going to finish this Damiangong, then it's getting a bit hot, so we're going to go and get a drink, and I want to ask you a little bit of advice regarding bringing my son to high school in Taiwan versus West and overseas.
Yeah.
So if you have something to say about that, we'll talk about that later.
Yeah, sounds great.
So you can't come to Taichung and not come to Tang. How about bubble milk tea back in America? Is it something that you would drink often?
Yeah, so it's everywhere, especially in California, but it's significantly more expensive. So a cup in California is probably like $7 or $8.
Well, this is the most expensive bubble milk tea that I've ever bought in Taiwan. This is like 150, which is expensive.
Yeah.
But this is the original OG Zhenzu Naita.
Wow.
So let's give it a go. I can definitely tell that that's different to like a normal $50 bubble milk tea?
Yeah, I like it. I like the rich tea flavor.
Yeah, you can taste that the tea is high quality and it's using fresh milk rather than powdered milk.
The boba's a little smaller.
Yeah, I think maybe I'll get corrected on the comment section, but this is Zhenzu, and the big ones are boba. If you ask for a Zhenzu Naita, they give you the smaller ones, but most people like to have the bigger balls. So I've got a serious, deep question for you.
Okay.
As a person that studied in Taiwanese school and Western school, I need more advice about my son coming to Taiwan. And I'm thinking about bringing him here for junior high school, which is the opposite of what you did.
Yeah.
You kind of had most of your elementary school in Taiwan and then went to the West for junior high school. Do you think that's the best way to do it, or what's your opinion on that?
Yeah, I think it's hard and each person is a little different, but I think like I'm happy that I went to America after I graduated 4th grade.
Yeah.
Just because the education here is so rigorous. Early education in Taiwan I think is really, really good, so I'm grateful that I went to elementary school here.
But in my opinion, what I wanted to do was have William develop his personality as a Westerner. You know, when you're in elementary school, that's when you develop your core beliefs and core personalities. That's why I wanted him to study in primary school, and then I can bring him to Taiwan as a high school student. But do you think there's too much pressure on high school students?
Yeah, it could be. I mean, I know a lot of my friends are really stressed out in their entire lives studying. But I mean, there's international school here, so that's an option.
Yeah, that's what I'm going for. That's why I need more people to subscribe to this channel and watch more videos, because international school is a little bit pricey.
Right.
But yeah, it's just nice to get another person's opinion on a personal situation that me and my ex-wife are still trying to figure out.
It's hard for me to say when is better to have your kid go to school here, but I will say from my personal experience, I really appreciate my early education. I feel like I learned a lot of kind of basic skills and really how to excel in school. Like I was really good at math and science. I was way ahead when I went back to the US. However, once you get a little older in the US especially, and maybe in other parts of the Western world, and you're in settings where you need to be creative and input your ideas or be in meetings and be able to kind of debate. Yeah. I think my early Taiwanese education did have an impact on me, because in Taiwan, early education is like you're taught that there's one right answer, and if you get it wrong, you're kind of shamed a little bit. And so like I didn't really know how to speak up and just debate for the sake of debating, which I think in the Western world can be a really big asset. And now as an adult, I think I kind of learned how to do this more in my mid to late 20s, but it did take me a long time to overcome that fear of being wrong.
There's definitely a culture of that in Taiwan. I think it's changing a little bit more now. Like there's a bit more creativity within schools, and there's more like art, bushy bands opening up, and there's a little bit more creative freedom within Taiwan now. But I guess when you were younger, maybe what you said is true.
I think that's a good point, because I came to school here in the 90s, so I'm sure things have changed a lot since then.
What's your plan regarding Taiwan?
TBD on living here. I'm not sure. It's an ongoing conversation with my husband. But I do plan on coming back here a lot more. My grandmother's getting older. She's 84, and I really want to be able to come back. And now that I have a little bit more flexibility with my time, I plan to come back a lot more.
Okay, awesome. It'll be great to see you more often. I'm sure my viewers are going to enjoy watching your videos. What's your channel about?
My channel is called Dots on a Map, and I work with my husband, and we make travel documentaries. So we go around the world and we explore the culture, food, people, and places. So yeah, give us a subscribe. We'd really appreciate it.
I'm wishing really big things for you. Good success and a prosperous future with Dots on a Map. But I think this video has pretty much come to an end. Have you enjoyed your day in Taichung?
Yes, it was very delicious.
Yeah, we've had lots of good foods, lots of good chat, which is what Taichung is all about. A nice chill lifestyle, right?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Calm vibes.
Calm vibes indeed. But yeah, time to wrap this video up. Say thanks to you guys for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. Check out Dots on a Map. But as always, time to say goodbye. See you next time, my life in Taiwan. Peace. Bye.